Hey, everybody, this is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch, and out here in YouTube land, there's a lot of great podcasts. I'm trying to go to the next level, be up there with all the greats, and I'm going to try to bring it today, dealing with the NBA playoffs. Suns and Denver. That was a great game because Murray did all right. And Jokic was great with his 53 points, and KD and Booker did what they did. They cooked the Nuggets again. They played great. It was just a great back and forth. It was like a five-ish, three-ish point game. Denver would take the lead. Phoenix would take the lead. Phoenix kind of took a little control. And then when the fourth quarter, I'm going to tell you who was big. And this victory by the Suns it was Landry Shamet, 19 points. He had 5 3-pointers. He had a big steal at the end of the game. And he hit some big shots to keep him stabilized. And then KD and Booker took over. So now, but Jokic was so good. He hit a 3-point play to cut the lead to 5. Then they got it down to 3. Murray hits a 3-point shot. And now the ball is getting stolen. I believe Shamet did it, or Ayton got the ball after Shamet stole the ball with 27 seconds left. And Denver was trying to get a 3. And they didn't even get a shot off. And then, Warren hits the 2 free throws that game, and they ended up winning 129, 124. And Booker and KD, 36 points, 36 points. Both playing great. Booker would take over one time. KD would take over when Booker would sit. It's just a beautiful symmetry which these two guys have. Durant had 11 rebounds and 6 assists. He was really passing the ball well out of the double team. Booker had 12 assists. Just fantastic, man. And Ayton was all right. He had 8 rebounds. He was decent. I mean, good as you can. Landale has been a godsend. Plus 16. He had 8 points. Jock Landale's been great. Man. And I tell you who else was solid was Terrence Ross. He hit a couple shots. And Landry Shamet has been off the whole series. So he hit the first one, hit the second one, hit the third one, the fourth one, hit a big fifth one that nailed it. And that's big going forward. They were better than Denver's bench. And usually the bench players are a lot better at home because Denver's bench players were better at home, Green and those guys. But Murray was good. He had 28. He needed more. He had to have a more impact to match the monsters on the other side with Booker and KD. But what hurt Denver is Michael Porter hasn't been great on the road. He's 4 of 13 today in this game, 2 of 9 from 3. He had a chance to go to the basket on a fast break and try to take a fast break 3. Got shot blocked by Ayton. And that was a bad moment. That was a chance they could have cut it to 1, I believe, and he takes a bad shot. Cut to 3. And he should just went to the basket. It was a couple of unwise plays by Denver, and then Denver played hard, but it's just Booker and KD overwhelmed the Nuggets. And now it's going to game 5. This is 2-2 like it should be. Sorry about that. It's 2-2 like it should be. Now, going forward, it's a game 5, and the pressure's on Denver, but the pressure's on the Suns because the Suns want to go up 3-2 and go to Phoenix and finish. This is legacy games for Murray and Jokic, who's great. I mean, he's just to be that slow. He's so crafty, and he's super smart. He knows how to make great passes. When he's in the high post, he'll throw that little bounce pass to Murray, and Murray takes that little short shot in the lane. They got that down pat. But it's got to be all hands on deck for Denver to win Game 5. Porter's got to be smarter. He's got to hit the open shot. He's got to be more aggressive. And Green and Brown has to be more of an offensive threat because you can't stop. And Denver played good defense, but You can only play good defense against Booker and KD. They're not just great scorers. They're super smart. They're willing passers. And now that Shamit and Ross are making open shots, and Payne will make some shots. Payne is playing a lot better. They got Payne playing. Payne didn't play game one. Payne playing game two, didn't play as good. Now he's in the flow. They're going to have to, everybody on Denver's got to play great. Joker's going to have 40. Murray's going to have to about 36 just to stay in the game because I don't think you can stop. I don't think they can stop Phoenix. So you'll get some stops because you're at home, but you're going to have to score a lot. You're going to have to score. It's just no matter what kind of defense you can play, you only can play so much because KD will find. He did one play where the double came, but it didn't come hard enough. So he dribble. Once the double teamer kind of moved away, he dribbled past his defender and shot over him. And that's the Suns. And Booker and KD they've been playing together for years. It's been like 16 games they play together in the Suns, and it's just beautiful. The one time at the end of the quarter, Booker throws this like a quarterback throws a touchdown pass. KD jumps way up in the air, catches it, turns around, shoots it, and nails it. It's just beautiful to watch. This is going to be a great Game 5. I want to see Denver win Game 5, Suns win Game 6. And we have an all-hands-on-deck Game 7. Now, Denver has to win Game 5. They're not going to lose Game 5 and then go to Phoenix and win Game 6. The Suns could lose Game 5 and go and win Game 6 and come out and win Game 7 in Denver. That's the difference. I want to see a Game 7. I want to see a fourth quarter where it's tied. And I want to see drama with these great, all-time great players on both teams. I just enjoyed the heck out of this series. Boston, Philadelphia wasn't as great as it was a great game. It wasn't as great as far as athletic and graceful as Denver and Phoenix, but it was just a hard-nosed, grinded-out game. And Philadelphia ends up winning, but normally this is a game Philadelphia always loses. They're up 15. They're playing well. Embiid's doing all right. He's doing solid. Harden's doing pretty good. And they got a couple threes from Niang, and everything's going well. And then right on cue, the bottom falls out, and Tatum's gone. Tatum went nuclear. He had 24 points, and Brown had 24, and Smart had 21, and Horford had 5 block shots, had 10 points. Brogdon had 19. So everything's kind of going according to plan. And here comes the Boston Celtics with a great comeback. They come all the way back. And I'm thinking, here we go again. The Sixers are going to have another bad playoff loss with a big lead, blowing it. I saw that against Atlanta a couple years ago. And what happened is the Celtics take a 2-point lead. Then the Sixers come back. And then Al Horford does a dunk, and he's celebrating because it was 98-96. After he drove and did a dunk with 3:51 left, Al Horford does this punch in the air, and he's like, yes, we're going up 3-0. This series is over. I know this. I know Philadelphia. I know they're going to fold like a tent. Harden gets him back in. And then James Harden hits a shot. They cut it to 2. And then Brogdon hits a 3-point shot with 2 minutes left, 105-100. Now, okay, game's over. Game is over. The Celtics are going to 3-1. I've seen this script. I've seen this act over and over and over again. But what happened is they got 2 stops and 2 scores. So it's a 1-point game. And then Tucker hits a free throw. And now they're up. That was tied. Smart gets 2 free throws. Harden hits a tough 12-foot layup. Because in that quarter, Embiid got his shot blocked over and over and over by Horford. I know his knee is hurt, but he was playing soft. All right, now, Tatum has the ball. 5 seconds left. Here comes a double. and he kicks it out to Smart, and Smart plays hero ball too much. This is where maybe the inexperience of the rookie coach of Boston takes over, because in that end play, I know Tatum's getting the ball, and I know the double's coming. I got to have Brown on that side to make sure that either Tatum gets a one-on-one, or when it double comes, it's Brown's man, so Brown can catch it and end the game with a three to finish off the Sixers. But Smart will hit that shot sometimes, but Smart likes to just be the hero when he's not, doesn't have the offensive ability. A great defensive player, but he doesn't have the offensive ability of Brown and Tatum, and those are your go-to guys. And neither of them had the game-winning shot, which is not good. Then we go to overtime. The Celtics are leading, and the Tatum hits. He pushes off. It's 112, 113, 112. The Sixers are leading. Tatum pushes off. Okay. 28-foot three-pointer pushes off, but they don't call it 115, 113. And then Embiid did make a nice play where he dishes the ball off to Harden. He hits a big-time three-point shot to go up 116, 115. 19 seconds left. All right, Tatum and Brown are going to close this out, because Tatum closed them out in the regular season. All right. So Tatum gets the ball. Here comes the double team, but Tatum passes it out late. And Smart does hit the three-point shot, but it was late. It shouldn't have came down to that, and the Celtics lose. Celtics are going to be kicking themselves. This is a game they had. The series is over. They're going to go to Boston and close the Sixers out in 5. But now, you gave the Sixers life where the Sixers blew a 15-point lead, won a game they had no business winning. Now you got to go to Boston and win the series all over again. The series was over, and the Celtics were ready to move on to the next round with a 3-1 lead. But now you gave the Sixers life, and Embiid played bad. This game 5 is a referendum on it. I know his knee is hurt, but this is a referendum on the legacy of Embiid. The Sixers have never, ever got to the conference finals. They've always got plateaued out in this first or second round. They always just come up short all the time. Can Embiid be the guy and create a playoff legacy where he wins the next series and gets to the NBA Finals? If he doesn't win it, you stamp yourself in this game at Boston. Or if you lose, win game 6 and win game 7, which I wouldn't think they would win, you win that. Your legacy on the road. This is what, because I would figure, if I'm a betting man, I would put my money on the Celtics to win 5, Sixers 6, and Celtics 7, because I trust Tatum and Brown over Harden and Embiid. Even though Harden had a great game this time, but will he show up all the time? I put an APB out on him in game 3. He showed up, 42 points and 8 rebounds and 9 assists. But Tobias Harris has to shoot better. And Maxey was 6 of 17. Can't do that in Boston. Maxey and Tobias Boston got to play better. Boston started out missing shots. And Tatum caught fire after going 0 for 8. He caught fire in second half. But they might catch fire early because they're home. And it's game 5. The crowd's going to be electric. So, for the Sixers to win, Harden's got to be great. And it be together. Together, they have to be great. Because what they'll do, the Maxies and the Harrises of the world will be good. Niang played good. But Maxey and Harris play off of the greatness of Harden and Embiid, because Brown and Tatum are going to show up. So that means White and Horford are going to get their shots. And Horford, he doesn't miss. He was 2 from 7 from 3, but you can't anticipate him being 2 from 7 from 3 at home. And Braga's going to give you 19. So Boston's going to bring it. Can the Sixers, my question is, can the Sixers bring it? But there's a lot of pressure on Boston. If this is And this is a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. All the pressure on the Warriors. Boston's supposed to win the championship. They've come up short, this group, for years. The Sixers have come up short. I'm talking about Denver and the Suns. Their franchises need to win. Now, Boston's won before. Of course, they got 17 titles. The Sixers have won before. But this current group, these guys have come up. Boston's come up short in the higher stage, but both these teams are trying to create a winning legacy. So game 5 is huge. Okay, game 3 was a flip of the script for the Lakers and Warriors. The Warriors annihilated them in game 2, and the Lakers annihilated the Warriors in game 3, 127-97. They came out. Golden State was up 30-23 at the end of the first quarter. They looked like they were in a good place. The way Clay was hitting shots, and then the bottom fell out the second quarter, and that's where the game really ended. It was a 36-18 quarter. Now Russell started the game playing well, and the one X factor, and he better keep playing this guy. Lonnie Walker came in and gave them 12 points, and he came in and gave them points. And Schroeder was good. Shaquille Harrison came out of nowhere making shots. But LeBron and AD went to the basket. And that was big because now Russell is open. He gave you 21. But that opens the door for Reeves and Lonnie Walker and those guys where they could get the score. And they're bigger than Golden State. And that's the key. Golden State's they're going to rebound. They're not going to shoot like this. They're the champs. But they overwhelmed them inside, and that was a big key. And see, on one hand, D'Angelo Russell's playing really good. On the other hand, Poole is not playing good. He played good in game. He played in control, a solid in control game in game 2. But this game, he was kind of throwing up shots, half cocked. He had 5 points. DiVincenzo's not making shots, so you're not getting that. You're not getting like Peyton had 8, but I think the key what the Lakers are doing, and the Warrior fans were complaining about not getting the calls, but you're not going to the basket. LA was going to the basket, you're going to get more calls. That's just kind of the way it is. I didn't see any suspicious. I would call out, even as my team. I would call it out if I saw anything suspicious, but I really didn't. The key to this series is Curry was getting layups, shooting threes, layups against Sacramento. In this series, AD is rim protecting the heck out of the ball, and LeBron will get some blocks, and Vanderbilt is using his size. So Curry's not going to the basket. Curry's going to give you 3-point shots, but not going to the basket. That's another element of his game, which is underrated. And now Wiggins is not, other than the dunk he's not always going to the basket. And Klay Thompson's a shooter. Started out well, but ended up 5 of 14. And Draymond is going to give you some points, but he's more of a facilitator. But Looney getting boxed out by AD is huge. Looney went clean off. He willed a road win against the Kings with all those 17 points, all those 17 rebounds, all those offensive rebounds he had. He's not getting any. LA's boxing out. So now all those second chance points you're not getting. So now you got to make your basket. Now you got to make your shots from the perimeter. And that comes and goes regardless of how good a shooting team you are. And that's the key for LA. But Golden State's the champs. They will come back strong for game 4. This is going to be a game, and LA hasn't showed this. They haven't, even in the games they won close, it's like a little bit of a sloppy kind of an ending. LeBron going to the basket against Minnesota, but not really. They look kind of confused at the end of games. Can't do that against Golden State. It's going to be a close game. Curry and Thompson and Green are going to look to execute. I think a couple of post shots by AD are going to be huge in the fourth quarter. LeBron's going to be aggressive, drive, kick it out to Reeves, make a couple threes. That's going to be key. Russell making his shots. Russell's the best perimeter shooter. The Golden State Warriors have got to – Steve Kerr's got to say, listen, we got to pay a little more attention to D'Angelo Russell. He's been open the whole series, and he's killing them. All right, I would leave LeBron open for outside and take away his drive and really look to defend Russell because he's going to the basket. He's shooting open threes. He's hitting perimeter shots. That'll send you home. But this game 4, this is a swing game. This is going to go down to the wire. Golden State executes better in the fourth quarter, but LA, they're going to have to do better in this fourth quarter because I don't anticipate them going out and blowing out Golden State again. They're the champs. This is not Memphis. So they're going to have to win a game at home and on the road where they're going to have to execute because they were sloppy on that road win. They had the lead. They were lucky. But on this game, LeBron's going to have to hit a couple. They're going to have to go inside, maybe hit a couple of shots inside, hit a couple of little short shots in the lane off of well-designed plays. They're going to have to really, really execute because Golden State's going to execute. Draymond's he's kind of the hub. He's the head of the whole operation. He'll set Curry and Thompson up and maybe Poole to hit a couple of big-time shots if he can play under control. So I'm looking forward to game 4. And this is going to be very interesting. So I'm definitely going to do commentary after game 4. Finally, the Knicks better wake up. They're in South Beach. It's down 2-1. They did nothing in that game against the Heat. And you didn't even get a monster game from Jimmy Butler. And Vincent was off. Yeah. Butler was 9 of 21 at 28 points, and Vincent had 5 points, and he lost because Strauss was good. And Lowry's Lowry. But the one thing the Heat did, they kind of walled off Brunson's drive, and they would send a double every once in a while, and they guard him. But they had Kyle Lowry on Julius Randle, and he couldn't post him up. And he's on the outside. Instead of going inside, getting your behind inside, and posting him up, he's on the perimeter. And Lowry's strong enough to deal with him. So now, and Barrett is through 2 of 7. He doesn't shoot it as well. So the Knicks, now the Heat can just defend the Knicks now. Okay. We know Brunson is a shooter. Let's let everybody else shoot. Let's make sure let's box out Robinson and Hartenstein. And that's it. And Quigley going 4 of 12. They can't win another game without Quigley doing better than 4 of 12 and 2 of 8 from 3. Because Toppin and Grimes got to shoot better. Grimes and Quigley and Brunson are their shooters. If you're going to double Brunson and make sure Brunson hurts you from the outside, and Grimes and Quigley are not going to shoot, Toppin and Randall and Barrett are shooters, and now you're going to get left open. The Hart, they're going to get left open. They're not going to make the shot. And Miami's going to win. And Miami they want to play the Celtics. They want to play the way the Celtics in the six. They want to make up for last year, regardless of whether Hero's there and he's out for the season. They are on a mission to get back to the conference finals and win the conference finals shorthanded. They do not care. The culture. This is a Pat Riley Spoelstra winning culture they have. That's the next man up. And that's just their mentality. And Adebayo is just tough-minded. He's a tough center. And Kevin Love didn't play good, and that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign because Martin and Love and Vincent might play better. It's going to be New York. It's going to be a tall task for the Knicks to win Game 3. But even if they're down, 5 and 7 are in your building. So at this point in time, you got to see if you can get to Game 7 at the Garden. That's kind of the mission for the Knicks. But it's going to be hard because you better match the hunger that the Miami Heat have. You better match their defense, and you're going to have to hit some. You have to hit some perimeter shots. Quigley and Grimes got to open the offense up by hitting shots. If they don't hit shots, the Knicks don't have a chance, and Miami will be back in the conference